I knew something was wrong the moment we walked through the door. The music pulsed low, the chatter rose in overlapping waves, and the glittering lights from the chandelier seemed to spotlight everyone except me. My wife, Claire, slipped her hand from mine almost immediately. No smile, no glance back, just a quiet untethering as she wove herself into the crowd like she had been waiting all week to escape. I stood there, suddenly a stranger at my own wife's side. We'd been married 6 years. I knew her quirks, her laughter, the way she hated cilantro but loved spicy food. But that night, the woman I watched wasn't mine. She belonged to everyone else. Claire leaned close to her friends, whispered things that made them laugh. She rested a hand lightly on a man's arm when he spoke, her head tilted just enough to show interest, her smile wide enough to make my chest ache. And I was wallpaper. I wandered toward the corner, pretending to check my phone. The truth was, I was fighting the sting of invisibility, of being erased one polite smile at a time. "Drink," a server offered. I nodded, took the glass, but it tasted like nothing. Because all I could see was her, Claire, throwing her head back, laughing like I hadn't heard her laugh with me in months. Waited. 10 minutes. 20. Nearly an hour. Not once did she look for me. Not once did she notice me hovering near the edge of her perfect world. Finally, I couldn't do it anymore. I set my untouched drink on the table, pushed through the crowd, and slipped out into the cool night air. The silence outside felt like mercy. I walked to the car, sat behind the wheel, and let the engine stay cold. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles whitened. I wanted to leave, to drive home and never look back. But something in me, hope, maybe, or denial, kept me frozen there. That's when my phone buzzed. I looked down. A single message lit the screen. From Claire. "Come." That was it. One word. For a moment my heart betrayed me. It leapt, stupid and desperate. She noticed. She wanted me. Maybe I'd overthought everything, maybe she was waiting for me, maybe. But no. I knew that tone. I knew her shortcuts. This wasn't for me. Something in my gut twisted, heavy and cold. My thumb hovered over the screen, but instead of replying, I shoved the phone into my pocket and walked back toward the house. The party was still buzzing. No one noticed me slip inside. But I noticed. Claire wasn't where I'd left her. She wasn't with her friends or by the drinks. I scanned the room, my chest tightening. And then movement. Down the hall. Her dress. Flowing behind her as she disappeared into a side room. Phone still in hand. I followed, quiet, careful. Each step heavy as if I were dragging my own heart with me. The door at the end of the hall wasn't fully closed. Just cracked. I stopped, my pulse hammering in my ears. Through the gap I saw her. Claire. My wife. She wasn't alone. A man, tall, broad-shouldered, the same one she'd been laughing with earlier, stood close. Too close. Her phone buzzed in her hand, and she smiled up at him, holding it out. "See. He'll come," she whispered, voice soft, almost amused. My stomach turned. I pressed closer, needing to hear, even though every word was a knife. "You sure?" the man murmured. "Of course," she said, slipping her phone into her purse. "He always does. That's the problem. He'll never leave me, not until I make him." The room spun. My breath caught, ragged and shallow. I should have barged in. Should have screamed, demanded answers, shattered the illusion right then and there. But I couldn't. I stood frozen, my entire marriage unraveling in front of me. Her hand touched his chest. He leaned closer. That was it. I turned away before I saw more, before the betrayal burned itself into my memory in unbearable detail. Back outside, the cool air hit me like a slap. My hands shook as I fumbled with my keys. Somehow I managed to drive. I don't even remember the streets, only that the road blurred beneath me as tears stung my eyes. At home, the silence felt like a coffin. I sat in the dark, her words echoing. "He'll never leave me, not until I make him." So that was it. I wasn't a husband anymore. I was a burden. A man to be manipulated, pushed aside, discarded when convenient. The hours crawled. At 2 a.m. the door clicked open. Claire stepped in, heels dangling from her hand. She froze when she saw me sitting there. "James," she said, startled. "You left." I stared at her, the silence thick, suffocating. She shifted, her confidence cracking under the weight of my gaze. "Why didn't you answer my text?" I let out a bitter laugh. "Your text? That wasn't meant for me." Her face drained of color. "Don't," I whispered. "Don't lie." "Heard you." I heard everything. Her lips parted, excuses trembling on the edge of her tongue. But no words came. Just silence. The silence was worse than any confession. Finally, she sank into the chair across from me, her eyes glistening. "James, it's not what you think." I slammed my hand against the table, the sound sharp, final. Don't insult me with that." 6 years, Claire. 6 years of my life, of love, of trust. And you throw it away like I'm nothing. Her tears slipped free. But mine had already dried, replaced with something harder. "You know what hurts the most," said my voice low, steady. "It's not that you cheated. It's not even that you lied. It's that you thought I'd never leave. That you could do this and I'd just stay." Her sob broke the air between us. "I didn't mean for it to." "Stop." I stood my chair, scraping back. "You've said enough." She reached for me, desperate, but I stepped away. For once, I wasn't the one chasing. That night I packed a bag. Not everything, just enough. Clothes, essentials, the things that mattered most. As I zipped it shut, she whispered from the doorway, her voice cracking. "James, please, don't go." I paused, my back to her. Then I turned, met her eyes one last time. "No, Claire. This time, you don't get to tell me when to come." And I walked out. The door closed behind me with a finality I felt in my bones. For the first time in months, maybe years, I wasn't invisible. I wasn't wallpaper. I was free.